The African Americans in the War by Nada Mean, Stephanie Tran, and Lauryn Hamilton.
In 1775, Congress excluded African Americans from future wars. They fought on both sides, hoping to win their freedom from the British and land from the colonists. Most help from African Americans. 5,000 men served in the Continental Army during the war. 10,000 African Americans escaped, died, or were killed.
African Americans fought on both sides of the American Revolution. For the African Americans, the war meant danger and opportunity. They took part of the war. British offered them freedom, but when people that joined the British were involved, British served mainly roles as cooks, blacksmiths, and teamsters.
The African American soldier fought on both sides of the war, the British side and the Patriot side. In the illustration, the African American soldiers are fighting side by side with the British soldiers. Although they are wearing different uniforms, they tried to win the war against the enemy.
An important man in the war was Boston King, an escaped slave who joined up with loyalists and documented it. The African Americans who died, the British lost their freedom. Many ended up in the back in slavery in the Caribbean. Some were forced on side Loyalists or patriots.
By 1777, 1/2 of the American population was African American. In the war, 7,000 African Americans served in the American side, including 2,000 in the Navy. They also served in the Northern Lieutenants and state armies. The reason behind reciting the slave revolts, a number of northern states took steps to end slavery. Pennsylvania law of 1780 provided a graduation, and it allowed slaveholders to keep their slaves, but barred them from getting more.
On the American side, Washington at first refused to accept African American soldiers, but the British offered them freedom of enslaved people, made Washington change his policy. By the end of the war, 7,000 African Americans had served on the American side, including 2,000 in the Navy. During the Revolution, a number of northern states took steps to end slavery. For example, a Pennsylvania law of 1780 provided a gradual end to slavery.